There, there you are. I haven't
Hi there.
before, so I was kind of nervous that I was gonna mess it up a little bit.
No, so I was there like, okay, so I need to go on her page and wait till she goes live, and then I go through, and I was like, okay, we did it.
Yeah, better than expected, for sure, for sure. So I'm gonna give it maybe like a minute or two just to give a few people an opportunity to hop on. But just wanted to thank you for your time, Michelle, joining me today to talk about how realtors can just level up their business and work smarter and not harder.
1000%. I mean, it's one of my favorite topics. And it's not only because this is what I do every day, it's just, there is a way to do this and do this in a way that, hello, that could be great for you. And maybe you were not aware of it or the opportunities that are out there that you don't have to do everything on your own. So I can't wait.
Yes, yes.
Hey, David, how are you? Love me some David Breckheimer.
We haven't met yet, but now we've met. So.
Well, David is amazing in our industry. He is a coach, and I send a lot of people that want to become transaction coordinators over to him because he has a way of really simplifying it for folks and letting them know, like, hey, this is an opportunity for you, and this is a way to build mindset around this because it is different.
Right. Well, thank you for joining. That's great. I don't want to waste too much time. I think we can go ahead and jump in, and then as people kind of filter in, we can welcome them. But of course, we can always post this after, and anyone can watch the replay. So I want to get started with just like introducing ourselves because we have some people coming over from your page, and then people coming from your page. So I'll let you start off. Just tell us a little bit about you and Home TV.
Wonderful. Thank you. So for those that don't know me, my name is Michelle Martinez. I own and operate a real estate support agency in Florida, and it's called Hometown Transaction Coordinators. I myself have been a TC since 1995 and opened my agency in 2015. And it's basically out of the love of the sales professional and how I can help support them in growing their business without having to do with little things that they're not, it's not their zone of genius, but I have mine. So together we make a perfect partnership in some instances. So that's a little bit about me. How about you, Nadia?
Yeah, so you guys know me, Nadia Davis. I am the CEO and founder of Show Agents. We provide on-demand showing support to realtors. We're currently based in South Florida, and we are expanding, which is super exciting. But we help realtors with showings, inspections, appraisals, open houses. I like to say we pretty much help with anything that involves with allowing access to a property and being on site. We can help realtors with that. And once again, both of what we do help realtors just to be more productive and, like you said, to stick in their zone of genius. So that's what we're here to talk about today, is how leveraging transaction coordination and showing assistance to basically increase your income, double your productivity, and allow you to focus on the things that you do best with the support of ladies like us.
That's right.
So I have some questions here that we're going to use to kind of just like guide the conversation a little bit. The first one I have for you, Michelle, is how do you support realtors and how can you help them grow their business? So I know you did a brief explanation, but let's get a little bit deeper now.
Right.
And I'll let you go ahead.
So for us, when I opened my agency, it was to be a transaction coordinator for real estate agents. So we like to help them during that yes to sold, right? We're going to be there to help them just leverage those administrative tasks. It doesn't mean that they're going to release their fiduciary duty. No, they're incredibly involved still in negotiating and getting those wins for their clients. But we're here to push the process forward. So we are making sure that if we're walking with the seller, we're protecting their time. If we're walking with the buyer, very important, we're protecting deposits. So we're documenting, we're doing everything that is needed to protect the customer, the agent, and the brokerage. Primarily, that is the number one thing that we offer here and that everyone loves us for, because that's what we're here to do. So we offer transaction management. We also offer listing coordination, basically listing launch services, administrative, and putting it into the MLS and getting things taken care of, as well as offer drafting, which is fantastic because you're out on the road, you need assistance, someone's on a keyboard ready to help you out. So those are the main ways that we support our agents, as well as, you know, we're here to help them. So when they're saying, hey, we need assistance in this, oh, we have a great connection for you here, whether it's with a lovely partner like you for showing assistance or marketing and things of that nature. We're here to help our community be working smarter and not harder.
Yes, yes. Yes, absolutely. And like I said, what we do align, right? So with show agents, we essentially allow realtors to be in two places at once. And so the beautiful thing about leveraging showing assistance is you can have one buyer seeing a property in one city, another buyer seeing a property in another city, while you are sitting at a listing appointment and you are working towards, in that example, 3 transactions at the same time, and none of the clients feel left behind or without attention because you're still servicing them. And so that's the beauty about showing assistance and how we help realtors in growing their business. It's like kind of the ability to duplicate themselves for the purpose of, you know, going to appointments. And also it's just about use of their time, right? So for example, you know, an inspection. If you are on the listing side or the buyer side, either way, and you know the inspection might be a little bit longer, you can definitely go and be there for like the first hour or the first 30 minutes. But if you want someone to come in and take over for you, make sure things are still running smoothly, but then you can use the rest of that time to, like I said, do maybe a listing appointment, follow-up call, or any other activities that can help to push their business forward. So for us, it's a lot about giving them the ability to do more at once, and growing their productivity and their business because of that.
And I love that because, you know, you can't be at 2 places at once. You just literally, you can't. But if you want to grow your business, you have to figure out ways that you can. And I think that what's awesome is that us as a transaction coordinator, we're your keyboard warriors, right? We're going to be here answering phone calls and doing all that customer service. But you as a showing assistant, you're actually out on the road.
Like,
you are at that property. You are their body double. You're there to represent them, their business, and tell the agent. Like, one of the things that I've noticed that has become very popular this year is the concept of a micro team. And that is with solo agents that they're like, you know, I want to grow my business, but I can't handle more than 2 transactions every month. I'm going to go crazy. And I still have to lead gen. I still have to make my coaching calls. I still, and the list keeps growing.
right.
You can have your micro team with professionals that are experienced, that are dedicated, that is their zone of genius without having to break the bank. And that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. And just to touch on something that, so I'm a big believer in like systems, right? Like if you have systems in place, you can grow your business because it's just a matter of how well that system can handle more volume. And so as one person, you technically are a system, but to your point, you might only be able to handle 1 or 2 transactions or maybe 2 buyers at once, whatever the case may be. But when you do have professionals that are, like you said, in their zone of genius, we are experts at what we do that are helping that agent to fulfill those duties. In your case, like you said, behind the keyboard with the calls, and with us in the field at appointments, it enables them to put the system into place that can take on more volume. And is a way for them to kind of create their own micro team, which is a beautiful thing as well. And then the last point that kind of just came to my head, the other really cool thing about working with us is we kind of grow with them, right? So the more support they need, the more they can work with us, and we meet them where they are. So I think that's another cool thing about, you know, working with a transaction coordination company like yours, or working with showing assistants that are kind of like on demand, is that we can grow with the ebbs and flows, right, of the industry as well, but also as a realtor is looking to kind of like grow their business too.
Exactly. It's, we're all feeling it, especially in Florida. I see it at my desk. I'm looking at the different ways that our market, is changing. It's evolving. I see how after, the craziness of 2021 and 2022, and now we're in 23, and we're seeing, different ways of doing business. And agents really need to really stay focused on doing what they do best, and that is being in front with customers as much as possible when it comes to the point of conversion and nurturing. But once that deal is locked, or once you know that customer is yours, you got to go and grab another one, guys. You got to go and convert the next one, because you don't want your pipeline to dry up. So that's when you're like, that customer's mine. I'm calling Nadia. I need you to show X, Y, and Z property. It's going to be one of these 5. And then Michelle, get ready. Here we go. We're going to be getting this contract over. But you have people that are going to come here and support you while you're doing what? Conversion. Your zone of genius is in fishing. You're going to go and lead generate, and the next part is conversion. Those 2 main things, if you stay focused on those, guess what? The sky's the limit. I mean, we have a lot of time in our hands if we're focused on the right things that grow our business.
Right. Absolutely. There was something I was going to say. There's just so many good nuggets that you gave. Like, I completely, what I was going to say is, you mentioned like the pipeline, and I think the pipeline is so incredibly important, because as you know, every deal doesn't always go through. Things happen. It could be related to financing. It could be related to something on the inspection report. There's just so many things that can happen. So a realtor who is focused on lead gen and converting, not just the lead gen, but like to your point, converting those potential clients into clients, they start to build up that pipeline. And then, like I mentioned earlier, having the system in place that allows them to continue to work with those clients and see them through to a closing, whether it's on the buyer side or on the seller side. So you make a great point. Okay, the next question I have here, which I thought was kind of interesting, is what are the top 2 to 3 questions that you get asked when someone is interested in working with a transaction coordination company?
Well, first is always, how much is it?
Right. Yeah.
That is always like the first question, and I'm here like, okay. So pricing wise, I always tell everybody that we're very nominally priced. We do charge $450 per transaction, and that's due at closing. And that is very important to our agents to know that, because, as the closings come, the ebbs and flow of running a business, that is good for them to know. It's like, hey, that bill's going to be paid the day that closing occurs. And one of the great things that we offer is, if the file does not close, then we do waive our fee. The only thing that we may charge is $75 to process any cancellations. But if they handle that on their own, it's $0, really.
Wow.
So we're just here like, okay, we're here to work with you. We're here to partner with you. We're here to make sure that you have the support that you need to get the deal done. So that's one of the big questions that we get, is like, how much is it? And then the second was like, when do you work? Oh, great question. So we work Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. We are open when escrow's open, the banks are open, because we're doing all those wonderful follow-ups. We're calling the associations, we're calling title, we're calling the lender, and we're getting all those juicy updates while you are converting leads and nurturing all the things that you have to do. So that's when we're open. The third thing is that we usually get is, hey, Michelle, do you do anything else? And then, of course, like we covered earlier, yeah, we're going to help you launching your listings into the market. We'll do some pre-marketing tasks for you, and we'll also do some offer drafting. So we're kind of like, hey, anything that's administrative for your business, we will handle. Anything that we can do from a phone and desk, That's what we're here to do. So those are the big three questions that we usually get.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, that's awesome. And I love, like I said earlier, the fact that like you can meet them where they are, right? Like if the transaction closes, then that's great. If not, that's okay. You have that understanding, maybe just the cancellation fee. But also like the additional services you have as well. So like as a realtor is building their business, they need some marketing support, or now they have 3 listings that just came in this week, which is good.
It's
You're
all.
able to you know, help them with like launching that listing. So I think that's great. For me, I would say the top question that I get is, how do I know a showing assistant is not going to steal my client? Which is such a valid question. You know, the industry is based on commission. So of course a realtor would want to know, like, how do I know that my commission is secure by leveraging showing assistants? So with us, we are actually structured as a non-transactional brokerage. So all of the showing assistants on our team actually hang their license with us as their broker, which in effect basically means that they're forfeiting their ability to even earn commission, because while they're employed as a showing assistant, they're solely showing assistant services. And that has become a huge like comfort for realtors,
Yeah.
knowing that we're here to support, that we are an extension of their business. We're not here to compete with them. And so that is always probably the number one question that we get. Another one that's really popular is also the pricing and timing. So they kind of come together usually as a question, like how much notice do you need and how much does it cost? Like those are like kind of put together. So for us, we generally need about 4 hours notice, which is actually not that bad. Pretty much means that like if a realtor calls us in the morning and they need support like later in the afternoon, we're usually able to accommodate that. And then as far as costs for showings, we charge by the property. So that would be $65 per showing. And then everything else we charge by the hour. So if it's like an inspection, an open house, things like that, it's just based on the duration of the appointment.
Gotcha.
So yeah, those are kind of like my 3 questions. The second 2 are kind of like together because they usually come together.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are some of the top questions I get. But I think it's important for us to actually answer that like on this live, because those are the things that are frequently going through people's minds when they're considering working with you, or you know, working with a showing assistant, is like, what does that even look like? So yeah, great question. All right, our next one. This one I love. And I'm really excited to hear this because we've spoken before, but success stories. If there, you know, maybe an example or two of a realtor that you've worked with in the past, and just even from your perspective, how you saw transaction coordination like really either elevate that experience for the buyer, the seller, the realtors who are involved, or just truly like come through and make a difference to seeing it through to closing.
So which one do I pick? There's so many. I think one of the things that is good for people to know, that when you are starting your career, I work with a lot of agents that are either semi-new, meaning they've done a few closings, they need a little support with an experienced coordinator on their side to really help them like navigate the way, or agents that are, you know, they have a lot of responsibilities, maybe single parent homes, things of that nature, and they really need support, especially during the afternoons when the kiddos are home. So for me, I remember one of my first agents when I started, he's still with us today, which is, you know, we just reached 5 years, which is fantastic. When he started, he was, you know, closing at least 12 units a year, just one a month on average. And when I got there, he was like, so how does this relationship work, right? And I was like, well, very easily. You text me, you call me, you let me know what's going on. You're going to be doing your thing, right? Which is fantastic because you really like sharpened some skills here. And I'm going to be doing my thing, which is supporting you. I'm going to be your eyes and ears and telling you what's up with life, right? One of the great things about having a transaction coordinator, it's not a new role, right? It's been around for years, at least, 30. I've been in the industry since 95, right? So when I tell agents, look, if you leverage the right way, if you have someone that you can trust that's going to be supporting you, that gives you that root chakra comfort that you are protected, this is when you're going to grow your business, because automatically we're going to increase your business and your productivity by 25%.
Right, right.
Literally, we track basically everything in our lives because that's the nerd in us that likes to do that. And he grew his business that by year 3, he was closing 60 units on his own.
Wow. Wow. That is awesome.
And it's like, he was like, I won't go anywhere. Now he's got his own team and we're just there riding it with him the whole way through. He's like, I'm not going anywhere. And I'm like, I love that. I love that very much. Thank you. So for me, it's like, those are the great ones. But we also have situations where, our agents are going through a tough time and they need that support. They are having, medical procedures, there are deaths in the family, and it's like all hands are on deck. We're here to help you because you're having a human moment, and that's what's going to happen. And when that human moment comes, we're here to support you. And for me, we have had clients that have been going through chemotherapy that happen. It's like, they're in sales. They have to continue. And it's like, hey, we're here to support you. They're still able to make the conversions, do the calls, and do the things. And I wish we knew each other back then, because they always needed a showing assistant, because they're converting the clients, they're signing them up, they're getting the listings and all that stuff. But guess what? They're going through it and they're having that human time. Like, they still need to work because they have to support themselves. And then we're here to help them in that next phase once it goes under contract. And I can only imagine that when this happens again, I'll be there like, hey, let's bring in Nadia because you're going to need someone out in the field. Because you need to take care of yourself. You need to take care of your health. You need to take care of your family. And we're going to try to take off as much we can off your plate so you can focus a little bit on yourself too. A lot more, which is what's needed during those times, right? So for me, those have been the moments where I sit there and go, wow. I mean, one of my wonderful clients literally called me this morning and she's like, hey, the holidays are coming. And I was like, yes, I'm so excited. I'm a December baby. So everybody's like, so they know that I get roughshod because I'm literally like 2 days away from Christmas. Not a Christmas baby, but really close. So it's like, I tell everybody, it's like, yeah, you're basically going to forget it's not my birthday, but for some reason they don't. And I love that. She's like, well, I got some pastel for you, which is a wonderful Dominican, like, treat. It's basically like yuca filling and it's delicious. And I'm really great because I'm going to need that to take to the Thanksgiving dinner with my family. But it's like, we become part of our agents' lives. It's like, there is no separation for us. It's like, yes, we may be third parties, we may be vendors, but we become part of you. We become part of your team. We become part of your business. And that's what it is, your business. You're growing your business. You're either establishing or growing your business, and you need that support. So that's what we're there for.
Yeah, you make a great point. It's like real estate from, an agent perspective. Like, it's really hard to have an off button, right? And I know some agents, they do their best to set boundaries where they can. Like, maybe it's a 7 p.m. cutoff, I'm not going to answer you until the morning, or whatever the case is. Like, they try their best to create boundaries, but it's just an industry that it's hard to do that. Honestly, it is kind of hard to do that, especially when you have buyers who are only off to see properties after 6 p.m. or on the weekends, right? But that's also the same time that you're probably wanting to spend time with your kids, because they're out of school, or with your spouse or your family or whatever the case may be. So it's really hard to have a clear, line between work and personal life. And in an industry, once again, that is commission based, right? It is sales. It is something where you're going out there, you're in front of people all the time. It's so hard to have that balance. The whole reason why I even launched Show Agents, and I'll make the story short, but a few years ago, on Thanksgiving Day, my dad, he's a real estate broker. He's a solo agent, and he just does flips now. But back then, he was, still working with buyers, and he had a listing. And that morning, Thanksgiving Day, someone wanted to see that listing. And of course, it was just like one of those situations where the person was only in town for that day. And like, you just had to,
Of
right?
course.
And so all of us in the car, we went over, he showed the property, and then we were headed to Thanksgiving dinner, mind you, like an hour late at this point. And he said, wow, like, I wish I could have just paid someone to show that for me. Like, instead of taking the hour that he would have spent with us, he would have preferred to just pay someone who's already in the area to show the property and then just get the feedback so he can still, work with that person. He can still take next steps, but it's not at the cost of his personal life. And that's why I launched the business, because that was my light bulb moment. I was like, yeah, why can't you just pay someone to do that without worrying about your commission or anything? And so I decided to create, a solution to solve that. But yeah, you're 100% correct. Is we do become a part of their business. You get to know more about them, about their personal lives. And we just become like sidekick, right? Like something's going down, and they need a sidekick to jump. Like we are there for that. The one success story that I wanted to share was I had a agent who went to Disney for her daughter's birthday. She was gone for maybe like 8 days. So it was like a full week vacation. And
Nice.
it was nice. One of her buyers fell out of contract, and they were buyers that were ready to go, right? Like they were ready to continue seeing properties. They were ready to put in another offer.
Yeah.
They weren't. And
The iron was hot.
for Disney. So she called me and she's like, hey, Nadia, like I have buyers that need to see some properties this week. Long story short, we showed them maybe like 8 properties. She was able to write up the offer remotely. We got the offer in. Offer was accepted. We did the inspection. Like we attended the inspection for her while she was still in Orlando.
That's right.
And then was able to, take, everything else, communication is done remotely online over the phone. So she was able to continue to keep up with everything and of course stay in contact with the listing agent. But the fact that we were able to help her save, right, a transaction by getting the buyers back out, looking at properties right away, and giving her the feedback immediately so she can take action, write that offer up as soon as she could, all while she was miles and miles away. I always loved that, that particular success story. And that was just a few months ago, actually. But just seeing how she's able to keep her promise really to her daughter of, yes, we're going on this trip. Yes, we're going to have a great time, but without having to sacrifice her livelihood and like how she's bringing in income to her family as well. But yeah, so definitely like the sidekick position, like we're here to support realtors in although different ways, together, just even a more powerful way. Like I said, you buy the computer and then us like just in the field handling those on-site appointments. It allows us to be even more, what's the word I'm looking for? Basically stronger at what we do, because you're not trying to be in the field and behind the computer, and I'm not trying to do the same two things either. So we get to be really good, is what I'm saying, really good at what we do. And
100%. Definitely not. Someone has to love being out there, because that ain't me, y'all.
Like all of the team members that I have, I get so lucky, but they love showing properties. Like we meet once a week and we talk about like, you know, if something happened, like how can we improve it or whatever. But a lot of times it's just like this house had this inside of it, and like, you know, like all of the cool and quirky things sometimes that you see at properties. But yes, we do love what we do for sure.
You have to. I mean, I think anyone, when you do something, you're going to take the time to realize, hey, these are the things that I love and these are the things that I don't love so much. One of the things I don't love so much is going to the supermarket and walking around. So the best invention for me was curbside
Yeah,
pickup. Like, leverage what you don't like and get it done. There are so many opportunities out there where you can do the things that you love, spend the time that you want with the people that you care about without having to drive yourself crazy. Just take
right.
advantage of all the opportunities that are out there, even the smallest things.
Yeah. And the one thing I always say is that, I mean, particularly for realtors, but for all of us, is time is our scarcest resource. So you want to use it how you want to use it, you know,
Yeah.
like the things that make you happy, doing the things that you're good at. And so we are in a world now where innovation is all around us. Opportunities are all around us, resources and tools, and it's just about like leveraging what's available to take advantage of, you know, your time and make it more productive and use it how you want to use it.
I think that was like one of the big, I went to a conference. I forgot. I know it was like, it's in downtown Miami, I remember. And it's one of those like investor classes, you know, they have them in the weekend at a hotel. And I was late. I'm always running just a little bit. You know, you make me leave my house, you're gonna see me at least 5-10 minutes late, right? So I show up and everybody's like, time is, and I go, money?
Yeah.
And they're like, you know, she was late. Time is everything. It's the one resource that's not renewable. You can never get it back. So how are you investing your time? And I was like, I am never going to forget that time is everything now. Thank you for putting me on the spot.
Oh my goodness, that's too funny. Yeah, but I love that time is everything, and it, like you said, the one non-renewable resource that we have. So, got to be smart how we use it for sure.
Exactly.
Okay, so we're gonna wrap up in a little bit, but I wanted to, before we make our announcement, any advice for realtors looking to work with you? Anything to share?
All right. So for me, I always tell agents, you know, real estate support, which is what I offer, is very vast, and there are very different ways that you can gain support in your business. But at the end of the day, it's your business. So you need to figure out, what do you need for your business before you start having the 1,001 conversations. I mean, for me, I tell everyone, have you done a time study? It's such a simple act of just, hey, I'm going to audit myself for the next week or two and just say, hey, this is what I'm doing at this time. Do I love it? Do I hate it? Does it generate me money? What is this that I'm doing right now? And if you're just checking in and having that soul moment with yourself, like, hey, this is what I'm doing right now, you know, set a little timer on your phone that ding, what are you doing? Write it down. And then you look at it and you say, wow, look at all the things that I can leverage in my life. And when you see that, now you know what you need for your business and where you can remove the things that don't make you money or don't bring you joy and leverage the rest. For example, going to the supermarket. Oh my God. So for me, time studies are huge and are a great benefit. Another thing that I offer, which you can find on my Instagram, on my link in bio, is an assessment. You can take that assessment. It's about 20 questions, and it will tell you the kind of support basically based on your answers. It's that, you know, magazine style. If you have 5 points, it's this. If you have 10 points, it's that, of what kind of support you're looking for now. So that's a great resource that you can use if you are just short on time and you need help now. So definitely, I tell everybody, know what you want for your business and then go shopping.
Yeah.
Then start asking the questions, because then you're clear and you can say, you know what, I need X, Y, and Z. Do you offer that? Yes or no? And then that way people can tell you, yeah, I offer it, or no, I don't, but I have a great referral for you of someone who does, which is, again, the point of allowing others to know what you need in order for them to support you. Clarity is kindness, and I always operate on that.
Oh, I love that. I might have to steal that one from you. Clarity, kindness, I like that. Oh, that's great. I do love that. Being able to start with a self-assessment, right? Because everybody is different and each person's going to like to do different things. And as you know, real estate, there's a million activities that you can do. So being able to identify the things that you like to do, the things that you said, you know, are revenue generating for yourself, and then figuring out, okay, this is what's taking up X amount of my time per week. I can potentially find a resource to, you know, free that time up for me. And then kind of going from there. So I think that's great advice. And then, like you said, they know what they're looking for when they are searching for that support. And that's kind of like the first step, right? Is like knowing what you're looking for.
What do you want?
Yeah.
It's like, if you know what you want, it's like, if I scream to the void, I need a transaction coordinator, you're going to have like 300 hands put their hand. I'm a TC, right? But if you say, I need a transaction coordinator that is bilingual, that is experienced, is licensed, unlicensed, does X, does Y, does Z, then you have funneled down to what you specifically need. And those that offer it can raise their hands and say, yeah, I can do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Less conversations at that point. Now you're just like, hey, which one makes sense for my business? Instead of having 100, now you have like 4.
Yeah. And it's the same thing for us, you know, like on the foundation, we do have like this on-demand showing support. But for agents that are looking to like integrate showing assistance into their business, have it be just a part of how they operate and have it be seamless, they can do that as well. But it's the same thing. We always start with a conversation on, okay, what does your processes look like now? And what parts of that do you want us to oversee or take over for you, so that way you can once again focus on the things that you love doing. And it's interesting because everyone is different. I've spoken to agents who they like to search for the properties and send it to the buyers, but once the buyers are interested, they're not, you know, the scheduling part is what they don't like to do. And then sometimes I have agents who they kind of just the whole entire showing process, they kind of want it to be automated, but they still want to know everything that's going on, and they still want to have the opportunity to be present at appointments as well. So we kind of can build it based on what they're looking for, but it's the same thing. It starts with like, what are you doing now, and what are the areas that you want to outsource,
Right.
and you know, who's the right person to do that. So I love that. And I would say one advice to any realtors wanting to work with us is the fact that you can build the support you need. And I think that's important. There's no cookie cutter way, shape, or form that your business needs to look. But we can help you figure out what that looks like for you and for your business, and help you build that. So anything is possible.
It truly is. As long as no one's getting harmed and we have to figure out where to hide the body, we're good.
Yeah. I don't know if anyone has any questions in the chat, but feel free to drop any questions that you have for Michelle or myself. And we are going to wrap up in a few minutes, but we do have an announcement. So, I mean, I think we've kind of dropped hints here and there already.
It's like, I didn't know it was a thing. I was just like, yeah, hey.
Consider this the formal announcement. So Show Agents is partnering with Hometown Transaction Coordinators to provide you with transaction coordination services and showing assistance services to once again unlock your real estate business and 10x your income. So Michelle has a discount code. You can DM her directly to get that discount code, which will give you some percentage off on showing assistance services. And we're just super excited for this partnership. I think that it's a great way to get in front of realtors and show them the multitude of ways that they can just grow their business. And at the same time, like I mentioned, you know, personal to them and to their business and to their brand.
1,000%.
Anything else you want to add, Michelle, before we wrap up?
I think that for us, we were super excited to do this partnership because one, don't ask me to get out of my house. I'm not going to do it. You want me on my computer. You want me to stay 2 hours waiting for the association to answer the call so I can ask them the 10 things that we need them to do right now. So when we were like, yes, Nadia, tell us how this works. Let's get our agents partnered with you. Our South Florida agents need you. The industry is changing. Our agents need to be on the phone more. They need to be converting more. They need to be doing all the things in order to fill their pipeline. Being out on the road to show a house to a customer that's already your client or a listing that's already signed, hello, leverage with a showing assistant, period. You're going to have the time to make more calls, convert more deals, get people on the pipeline that are going to be 30, 60, 90, 120 days out. But you're doing the things to fill up the pipeline. Don't be satisfied where you are right now when you have a gift and people need you to be doing that gift right now. Not only us, your wonderful partners in crime here, but also the people in our community. They need to hear from you. They need to hear from the real estate professionals. They need to hear what's going on in the market and how they can find opportunities even today with how things are. That's what you're great at. That's where you should be in your zone of genius, talking to customers and converting them into clients. And then your support team, i.e. Nadia and I, are here to help you take it to the finish line.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm all snaps for you, Michelle. Thank you. Couldn't have said it better myself. Yes, definitely excited about this partnership. I think there's just so much alignment there. And I think it's kind of like, it felt like puzzle pieces being put together, because
Yes.
I've had realtors that use showing assistant services say, hey, Nadia, like, are you going to do transaction coordination at some point? And just like you said, like, you're not leaving your computer. I have to be out in the field. I can't run back and forth to the computer, to the phone, and being in the field at the same time. So I just felt like it was such a natural, like I said, like puzzle pieces just fitting together, the alignment. And so we are just very excited. My Instagram is here, and so is Michelle. So you guys feel free to follow us, reach out to us, DM if you have more questions. But that is it from us today.
I love it. I can't wait to do this again because this was fun.
Yes. All right. Thank you so much, Michelle. Have a great rest of your day. And you guys, amazing week.
Ciao, everyone.
Bye.